There's an old war bunker here on the east coast of England that's about to fall into the North Sea. It could happen at any moment, and it may have already happened. We genuinely won't know until we get there. So we're going to head over there right now, and on the way, I'm going to tell you a little bit about this place, what this bunker was there for, and how it's ended up hanging off the edge of a crumbling cliff face. Let's go and see if we can find it. Now we're currently making our way along the coastline here in the East Riding of Yorkshire. It's a pretty notorious place, specifically because the coastline here in East Yorkshire is known as being one of the fastest eroding coastlines within the UK. And if you don't believe me, well, check this out. When I was planning to travel here today, I live on the opposite side of Yorkshire. I was doing my usual checking out Google Maps, Street View satellite imagery, and I found the perfect place to park. A nice lay-by right near the seaside. And then when I flipped to satellite view, I realised it was gone. There was nothing there. The whole coastal road had been washed away by the power of the North Sea. And that's exactly how this bunker's found itself totally exposed to the elements here on the cliffside. Now the bunker itself is known by many as Tunstall ROC. ROC stands for Royal Observer Corps, which was a civil defence organisation first set up in 1925. It was primarily volunteer run, and its main purpose was to monitor the skies, essentially. They were known as being the eyes and ears of the Royal Air Force, aka the RAF, and they were acting as a kind of early warning system. And as a result, this network of underground bunkers started popping up. It's not hard to find evidence of the erosion here either, unsurprisingly. Now, throughout the years, the purpose and the goals of the ROC changed, particularly throughout the 50s as fears of nuclear war grew. And as a result, throughout the Cold War era, these bunkers were now tasked with monitoring and looking out for nuclear attacks and nuclear fallout, with the goal to give as much warning as possible to the nation, to do whatever you can do in a situation like that. A situation which thankfully never arose here. Quick hat change. It's a lot warmer today than I expected. Now the bunkers themselves were quite modest in size. For example, you could have a bed, chair and a desk and some broadcasting and receiving equipment. Now fast forward a bit further, and of course the international threats changed and technology advanced. And so eventually in 1996 the ROC was disbanded, closed down. And instead of collapsing, tidying away, leaving no trace, this network of bunkers was just left here. And ordinarily, all you'll see, if you happen to be in the right place or you know where you're going, is just what could look like a small chimney poking out of the ground. And this would be the way into the bunker. I heard a few rocks and pieces of dirt tumbling down the cliffside just then. Now, of course, the one that we're looking out for is different because, at least last I saw, it was fully exposed on the cliffside and expected to tumble down now within mere days. It's a one-of-a-kind view that I don't think any of us will ever get to see again. Very unique situation. I do need to give a shout out in this video too to a guy named Davey who runs the YouTube channel Timothy's Travels. We've never met and he'll have no idea who I am, but it was his videos that made me aware of this in the first place. And he's been doing an amazing job of documenting the changes here daily. So if you want to see a bit of a timeline of past, present and future of the bunker, check out his channel. Now I can't see anything just yet. There's some pipes sticking out here, I guess unrelated, maybe connected to, just the original coastline that was here, the road that used to run along the top. And I've tried to time my visit today so that we should have a good few hours before the tide comes back in, because I wouldn't want to be sandwiched between these collapsing cliff faces and the North Sea. Now I think it must be where this person is, this figure in the distance, which would mean that we made it in time. We're not too late. And I can kind of see the brickwork. Whoa. I feel like this is a view of these bunkers. There's no other way it would be possible to see them like this. And obviously we want to be a little bit mindful of the fact that this is expected to tumble any time now. And so standing right beneath it, for example, sort of inviting danger. Someone on the cliff top there as well. So we can see the hatch at the top where the people would have climbed down inwards. Most of the bunkers that you find now across the landscape will have the hatches sealed off. But that wasn't always the case. And there may still be some out there that are accessible. I haven't seen any for a while, but it's weird seeing it from this view. And I guess that's probably an air vent. Looks a little bit like a chimney, but I'm not sure if they would have had any flame down there, any fires. I'm not too sure that I'd want to be walking along the top of there right now, but each to their own. I know people do. Now, one of the questions that I've seen come up a lot with this particular building, now that all this brickwork's exposed, is how could this possibly be a nuclear bunker? Because based on the name, it'd be easy to assume that this was designed to withstand some kind of nuclear attack. And to a certain extent, that's true. The description that I've found is that they were labelled as nuclear protected buildings. So they couldn't withstand a blast, for example, but some level of nuclear fallout and radiation you could be protected by inside one of these. I'm really curious to know more though, because looking at it, you would think, really? So in realistic terms, I don't know how much they would protect you from, but I would love to know. And the two questions still in my mind that we'll probably not be able to answer right now. Number one, when is it going to come tumbling down? And number two, what happens when it does? Is it just going to smash into pieces and get washed away into the sea? Is it the council's job to come and clean this up? Or will it just, get left here? I would imagine the council probably have a plan because they are aware of this. And either way, I don't think we'll ever get a view like this ever again. If you want to find out what happened after this, check out Davey's channel, Timothy Travels, because I'm sure he will have documented it. And if you've got any questions about the bunkers, or you know something that I haven't talked about today, do let us know in the comments, because I'm always interested to know more. Bit of a shorter video than usual today, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Something quite unique. Thank you very much for watching, and fingers crossed, see you on the next adventure.